Hello everyone, this is Prem Sodani coming up with the new initiative of Forum IAS, that is Editorials Decoded. So in this initiative we'll be discussing some of the very important editorials which appears in the newspapers and which are very important for your mains purpose, for your interview purpose, even for the prelims also, right? So today's editorial is this one, that is the Eurasia opportunity. This editorial appeared in the Indian Express, and here what this article is all about, that is why India should need to recalibrate its strategy, especially for this Eurasian region, and what are the challenges and how India can tackle these challenges in a very effective manner. That is the crux of this editorial. So let's get started with the editorial, right? So the first thing is key. After India's Indo-Pacific strategy, where India has successfully calibrated its strategy, its diplomacy, its foreign policy, its security policy with the Indo-Pacific region's security, right? So after this successful integration, now it is the time to reconnect ourselves, our diplomacy, our strategic depth with the Eurasian region. Reason is why. The first question is why. The question is why can be answered by these regions. The first thing is the regional stability. After especially the fall of the Afghanistan, this region is now very unstable, and this instability or this instability can also be harmful for India as well. India's internal security can also be challenged by this fall of Afghanistan, right? So this is the first reason, that is regional stability is something that why we should work towards Eurasian connectivity or Eurasian Eurasian strategy. The second factor is US withdrawal from the Afghanistan. So this is the same region because USA has left the Afghanistan and now there is a vacuum. So this vacuum can also be dangerous for India as well, as regional stability is once again under the threat and Taliban is the new player over this region, right? The third factor is the rising China factor, and this China is always in the picture. Maybe it is the Indo-Pacific region or maybe it is the Eurasia. This China cannot even be ignored, right? So this is why we need the Eurasian strategy. Next question is, what are the challenges in front of the India? The first challenge is the Pakistan. Whenever we talk about the Central Asia or the Eurasia, the most important or the most difficult thing for India is how to cross the Pakistan. Pakistan is the सबसे बड़ा जो barrier है, that is the Pakistan. So Pakistan is to be bypassed or is to be tackled in this Eurasian strategy. And recently you might have heard that India has called the NSA level meet, and that meet was ignored, that meet was declined, that NSA was not sent by Pakistan, even by the China was also this offer was declined on this regional stability talk. So this is the biggest reason of, or the biggest difficulty for India. The second biggest challenge is the political definition of the Eurasia. So there is no consensus what exactly Eurasia means. For Russia, it is the influence region of Russia, especially before the 1919 USSR fall. That is the region of Eurasia for Russia. Still, it considered this is the region of its influence. Somewhere loosely it is referred as Central Asia. Somewhere the parts of this also referred as Middle East Asia. So this is something which is a biggest challenge for India as well, right? The third factor is assertive and ever expansionary China. So this is the most crucial factor, and China is become very assertive, and now we'll discuss about this China factor here in detail. So when we talk about China, so China is not only assertive, China is becoming very assertive and expansionary. This is the one part of the story. Right, so its assertiveness and expansionary vision can be understood by this Indo-Nepal and China conflict, right? So maybe it was the Doklam, maybe it is the sub-Himalayan region. So you can see how the China is becoming so assertive, right, in this region. This is the one part of the story. The second part is the second largest economy that China has, and it has the largest impact on most of the countries. Means China cannot be ignored by most of the countries, especially when it is talked about the commercial interest of these countries. So this is the again the second part of this story. Means China's presence is very much important and significant for most of the countries. Now you can also see that China is also becoming a greater player, especially in Afghanistan, right? In Tajikistan also, the security presence of China is also there, or they are also seeking their security presence in Tajikistan. The one most important factor here again becomes is Russia-China alliance, right? And this relationship between Russia and China was intensified because of two factors. Here you can see the first factor is Russia was ignored by the US, and this was the reason why Russia was pushed towards China, especially for its economic dependencies. Means Russia was now economically dependent on the China. And the second factor you can say here is Europe has also ignored the Russia, and it has again pushed the Russia towards the China. So China is not only geographically present here, means the geographical proximity is there for China, especially with this region, and these regions are again biggest challenge for India, especially for the Eurasian connectivity or Eurasian strategy. So China is a big factor for India. In order to recalibrate our policy, we need to work on the China factor also, right? So these were the challenges. Now we come to the solution. Means on what fronts India should work, and what are the factors where India can actually improve upon, right? The first thing is the continental calculus. So in continental calculus, India has actually ignored the Eurasian region. Before independence, India's interests were also extended towards the Central Asia, but after the independence especially, we are geographically isolated from the interest of the Eurasia. Means what we need to do, we need to recalibrate our continental calculus. Means if the regional security of this Eurasia is challenged, India will also face some of the challenges. This is the connectivity that we need to work upon. Means we cannot isolate ourselves from this Eurasian region. We need to calculate again what is the continental strategy, especially for the Eurasian region. And what can work here is the connectivity which was already there, especially in the times of Buddha. You can see in the times of Buddha, there were Sangha and Shrenis, which were where the connection was there between the people of Eurasian region and India. So this was again this was isolated, or this was broken after the independence, but this can be one point of connection where we can say that civilization connect was something which can connect us with the Eurasian people also. So this is the one thing. But now especially India need to work on three fronts. The first front is to work with the Europe, especially when especially when we can say that the first front is to work with Europe. So right now actually US and Europe are working on the transatlantic security, and where the major role is being sought by this Europe for the stability of this Eurasian region, and that is going to be very important for India. So we need to work with the Europe, and especially if we can work with the Europe in such order that a military mission can also be established. Military mission can also be established, especially in the Brussels, where there are already NATO's headquarters there, European Union's headquarters is there, and if India can also utilize this opportunity where we can establish this military mission in this Brussels, that can also become very, very important for our this Eurasia strategy. So this is the one front. The second front is to work with Russia. Especially for this Eurasian security, we can work with the Eurasia, we can talk with the Russia, and Here we have some of the differences with Russia, especially on the Quad, on the proximity with the US, on the matter of Taliban, on the matter of China. We have differences with the Russia, but India need to dilute these differences, and this is very important for Afghanistan's stability also, right? And for this region's stability as well, right? The third front here India can work upon, that would be to work with these regions, that is Persia and Arabian world. Persian and Arabian world. So to connect Eurasia, this Persia becomes very, very important. Its geographical location is very important for India, especially to tackle the Pakistan. So this is something which can provide India the connectivity with the Eurasian region, and this Arabian world is very, very important for India in order to ignore the proximity between this toxic alliance of Turkey and Pakistan. So in the Muslim world, especially if India want to have some say, this could be the region where we need actually support of this particular region of this Arabian Muslim countries, right? So these are the three fronts where India need to work upon. Although we have all the differences within these countries or with these countries, but India should not let these differences to hold itself back, especially in this particular region. So this was all about this editorial. I hope you might have understood all the points. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have liked this, if you have learned something from this editorial discussion, you can also like and comment in this video. Thank you very much for watching.
Current Affairs by Forum IAS is an all-in-one program that covers the dynamic aspect of the syllabus from both prelims and mains perspective. Last year, we have helped more than 100 students crack IAS with our current affairs classes.